Expectancy. Tell me about expectancy.
Expectancy is your anticipation of what will happen at the time you've done something. And expectancy is important. It's almost part of the frame. If you were coming to a session and you expected it to work, that would be a part of your belief system, and that could hugely support whatever we were doing. If you expected it would be hard work and it wouldn't work, if you expected it to be hard and wouldn't work, that would tend to have a very negative impact on it. And to me, it's one of the things I would consider in the frame of any meeting. What you expect from it is actually an important thing, maybe to chat about even beforehand or offline.
Well, because you have the whole thing of self-fulfilling prophecy. Right?
Absolutely.
But there's also, you may be pleasantly surprised.
Correct.
And if you're pleasantly surprised, sometimes that's more powerful than if you had a good expectancy in the first place.
Absolutely. So I think the answer then is coming to make sure that you have got a useful expectancy. Because in a way, with all this stuff, we want people to beat their, I agree with you, we actually want people to beat their expectations. But what we don't want people to have is a negative. We don't want people to think it's necessarily going to be hard work, it's going to be lots of struggle, things like that. We need a positive expectancy. But yeah, our aim is always to beat it.
And how does one beat it?
By studying hard.
Well, I mean, are there ways that you can address expectancy? Expect somebody's expectancy, so when they come in, you can give them a signal or give them.
Well, I think you just asked that. I mean, to be blunt, let's go back to really basics. If you don't know something, ask. Okay, and you can certainly ask people, what do you expect from this? You may want and my view is that's a good. My view, I say, my view in there is never any harm in asking, because if somebody was frightened to ask, that assumes they can't deal with the answer. Okay, and we have this view that we can deal with any answer, and anything we do is information that will help us work out a better way to get people what they want. And what people expect is important. So finding out what people expect is I think is quite useful. And unreasonable expectations is an interesting one too, because I agree. If people expect they're going to have half an hour session and they will fly by flapping their wings, this is not this is not necessarily useful. So
you want it to be realistic, but at the same time positive. So there's a bit of idealism, but not too much.
Yes. And your whole aim is to be, and I said as we started off with, the whole aim is of course to beat their it's for them. It's not necessarily me. It's for them to beat their expectations. Interestingly enough, often if it's about somebody actually achieving an end goal, the art is to get to the way that they'll beat their expectations. Their expectations probably are they ain't going to get it, or they're not getting it now. The art is to actually get them to do some very small, but actually do enjoyably some of the small steps that will get them on the way to doing it. So sometimes you don't actually need them to do much, but they do need to do something.